Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel, Hairliciously. If you guys are new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you guys are updated on my second hair transplant journey progress, as well as video topics covering current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. Take a look at my website, HAIRLICIOUSLY.com, to follow my current hair loss treatment regimen, which includes microneedling and dermaling, which are both proven to stimulate hair growth by inducing hair follicle stem cells, my DHT blocking shampoo and serum, low-level laser therapy cap, and a few other products that are known to promote hair growth. So today is my 3-month mark since my second hair transplant. It's been 90 days and I really can't believe just how, just fast time just flies by. It just seems like yesterday when I actually went to Korea, had to go through the whole procedure again, the anesthesia, which is probably the worst part of a hair transplant. But yeah, I've made it this far and I wanted to share with you guys my 3-month mark. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is the left side. As you guys can see, hairs are just sprouting out. And I don't know if you guys can take a look up close here, but there's tiny bits of hairs that are sprouting out, which I didn't see a few days ago. Here's the frontal hairline. A lot of these singles implanted in the graft to make it look natural. And then the right temple. So also here, there's a lot of hairs that are growing in. And as the months progress by, it's going to get thicker and thicker. Now, if you guys take a look, if you guys do a comparison on each temple, you guys can obviously tell that this side here is my weaker side. And on the side here, it's a little bit more dense. And that's totally normal because not all of the hairs are going to be growing in at the same rate. You might have this area here that's growing in a lot quicker than this side, or maybe the frontal portion. It just depends because the hair follicles have different hair cycles. And in my case, this side here happens to be, I guess, the region where the hairs are growing in a little bit slower. But hopefully it's going to thicken up. I'm not too worried at this point because I'm still at 3 months. And even some people don't really see any results until like their 4-month mark. So I would consider myself pretty early right now. It takes upwards to, they say it takes upwards to like a year to see your final results. But realistically, I feel like it's more closer to like 7 or 8. You should be able to find, or you should be able to see your full results in about 8 to 9 months. I know some doctors are saying that, oh, you have to wait till like 2 years or a year and a half. I think that's just BS. 1 year max, but to see the full results, I think in about 7 or 8 months is usually the time period where you guys can take a look at your hair and be like, oh, okay, this is how much it's been growing in. And so, you guys can see whether you guys are going to be needing a second hair transplant or not. In my case, it's still early, but I'm pretty satisfied with the results so far. Like I said, a lot of the hairs are growing in, and I just have to wait and see. Now, you guys can see that there is no redness anymore. And if there is, it's very slight, and it's probably because I've been touching my scalp. But at 3 months, you should not see any redness anymore. And also, depending on your complexion, if you're lighter skinned, it's gonna persist a little bit longer. But if you're darker skinned, you guys are not going to be noticing the redness as much. So 3 months up close, there is no more redness, and you guys can see the outline of the hairline. It should fill in all the way down here. Same thing on this side. Now for down on this side, the hair is going to be a little bit more straighter. It's going to be covering the recession parts here. So a lot of the hair follicles are going to be growing in, and then they're going to be filling in this area here. So it's going to be more of a straight hairline, which I prefer because before I actually had more of a receding hairline and I really didn't like it. So I brought it down just a tiny bit. Same thing here. It closes off nicely with the temporal points here. Now a lot of the hairs here, I actually got implanted here as well because before it was a lot higher and the distance from the tip of my eyebrow to the temporal point was a little bit further out, which kind of makes the forehead look a little bit disproportionate and a little bit longer. And so I'm very happy with the temple work done here. The previous hair transplant, some of the temple hairs were sticking out, but the second hair transplant that I got actually has the correct direction, as you guys can see here. Like that one right there was implanted. So they're all going this way here. Same thing on this side. And a lot of times it's very hard to recreate temporal points. A lot of doctors are kind of hesitant to touch this. But this is very important because if you guys don't have this, it's just going to make your forehead just so much wider. And obviously, even with a hair transplant, it's going to make it look as if you're wearing a hat. And it's going to be very unnatural. So it's very important if you guys are also receding on this side here and on the temporal points to get this done. But yeah, pretty happy so far. I've been taking finasteride 1 milligram every 2 days. I've been microneedling and dermaling once a week with daily minoxidil twice a day at 5%. And so far so good. No side effects. It's been about, I want to say about a month since I've taken finasteride. And I've been cutting it down, like I said in my previous video, where instead of taking it daily, I did studies and found out that, you know, you can take dosages even as low as 0.2 milligram without having any side effects. And that's one of the ways that you guys can actually microdose to limit side effects. But in my case, 1 milligram every couple days works fine. I don't have any further hair loss or hair shedding. I think that stage has gone. Because when you first get a hair transplant, you're going to start shedding a lot. You might even start losing the native hairs, which was the case for me. But just to show you guys how the density is looking, let me just go ahead and park the hairs out. So this region here has not been affected with hair loss. That is my natural density. And if I show you guys the crease and compare it with the frontal portion here, I would say that looks pretty good. And you know, I always tell you guys this, but the hardest part about a hair transplant is the whole waiting game. And it's just, you know, just a matter of just being patient. And in time, you guys are going to be seeing some good growth. But tomorrow, I'm also going to be going to the barber to get a haircut. It's just been out of control. And typically, I don't like growing out the sides here because I don't know if you guys saw my previous video. I do have hair loss on this side here. I don't know if it's really hair loss or not, but it's a lot thinner on this side here. So if I grow it out, it's going to be noticeable. Like you guys can already kind of tell how it's very light here compared to a little bit more dense and thicker hair here. So what I like to do is I'm going to shave this part here, maybe do a fade, and then same thing with the back. But the back, I can't cut it too short because I don't want the FU scars to show. And so hopefully, like I did last time, the barber is going to cut it low enough where, you know, it looks clean, but it's not going to be the point where, you know, if somebody were to be looking at the back of my scalp, they're not going to be seeing these tiny little holes. I already did mention that I need to get SMP done. That's probably going to be happening sometime later this year. Not anytime soon, but I've been looking at some SMP places nearby in my area, and then I'm trying to schedule a time where I can just go in and then film some of the work that they're doing, just so that you guys are educated on how the SMP process works and how it actually looks. And so stay tuned for that. But yeah, pretty much my update at month 3. And if you guys also wanted to look at some of my prior videos where I actually filmed everything for my first hair transplant, it's kind of helpful, especially if you get a second hair transplant or even your first, because you guys can refer back to those videos and see where you guys are in terms of growth. So for me, like at my 3-month mark, I seem to be on par when I compared it with my previous video on my first hair transplant. So you guys can take a look at my channel, go back and see exactly how the hair is growing in. But yeah. Here's how it looks at a distance. It looks pretty good. I'm very happy because obviously the forehead is a lot smaller and there's not much receding here. And once the hair fully grows in, I'm just gonna have my wife buzz down my hair again like I did last time. Because I don't know, I like growing out the hairs too, but a lot of the times when you get a hair transplant, especially in the frontal hairline, you're not going to be able to style your hair the way that you really want because you're not going to have the native density. And in my case, that's also the same thing because I wanted to grow it out, you know, do some type of perm, but I don't know if I can pull off that look. We'll just have to wait and see, and you know, see how the density is going to be doing. But if I could, I'll give it a try. But I really wanted to buzz cut my hair because I really like the way that it looks. I don't know if you guys remember my the first buzz cut that my wife gave me. It looked pretty good. And if you guys haven't seen it, you guys can take a look at my profile picture. That's what it looks like. But yeah, the other concern would be, you know, if I were to do it right now, it's gonna look like I'm losing hair because there's not much density on this area. But we'll just have to wait and see. But that's pretty much it, guys. My 3-month update. I'm just very happy with the results so far. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to leave me some comments below. I also have some really big, exciting news later on, hopefully in the next month or so. It's gonna be so big, and a lot of you guys are gonna be very interested in this. I'm not gonna be able to say it right now, but it's gonna be some type of giveaway. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Stay tuned for that, guys. I'm telling you, this thing is gonna be very big. And I think it's just kind of like a way of showing my appreciation to a lot of my viewers for being very supportive. And but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to leave me some comments below, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care.